boxing action from tonight. The first defence of his Commonwealth middleweight title for Robert McCracken. Illness caused a postponement to this bout. It was first arranged for January. But now McCracken, who is hoping to establish himself as a world title contender, is ready for the challenge of Paul Busby. Both boxers hail from the Midlands, and the commentators ringside at York Hall in London are Richie Woodall and Jim Neely. We're going to join the action at the start of round 2.
One right gone, this scheduled for 12 3-minute rounds at 160 pounds, 11 stone 6. And the early advantage to the defending champion, the man in blue from Birmingham, Robert McCracken.
I think it's fair to say Busby started the first round quite well, really. He started with some good jabs, but as the round went on, McCracken then began to take over, especially at the end with that good right hand. And that's what Robert will be looking to straight away, is take command at the start of this round.
And that's exactly the same pattern. A couple of good shots. There's another good right hand from the champion, McCracken. And Busby has to close him down and hold on. McCracken was a splendid light middleweight, having been a more than useful amateur at light welterweight. Lost to Alan Hall in the '89 ABA finals, and has gradually moved up and has got a very tall frame, and has found it rather difficult, or was finding it rather difficult to make 11 stones, hence the move to 11 stone 6. McCracken countering well, especially with the right hand when Busby leads off with the left.
Yes, he is, and he's getting through with some good jabs as well, Rob. He's using his height and reach well. I think that was always going to be a problem for Paul Busby, was the height and reach. And he's got to look to get over the top with the right hand when McCracken jabs.
Paul Thomas asking them to box or get out, and they've done just that. So, and already the face of Paul Busby looking very red, and a nasty swelling underneath the left eye. And that's due to the accurate right-hand punching of McCracken.
Well, Busby straight away, you can see he's marking up a little bit, and those are from them accurate jabs and them accurate right hands over the top from McCracken.
Look at that, a good right hand shot. And Busby's wobbled. That was a very good shot by McCracken, even better than the one in the first round. A little bit of wildness now about the work of Busby. And McCracken is taking this contest very seriously indeed.
Look, he's going here. The referee, I think he's having a look here whether he could jump in. But that was a great shot from McCracken again. Paul's got to keep his hands up. Busby's got to keep them hands up.
McCracken almost walking onto a left hand as he came in, and the left eye of Busby is closing very badly. Just a few seconds to go, and again a good left by Busby, but he's been under pressure in the latter stages of this, the second round. Yeah, again, this is scheduled for 12, and I don't think it's going to go that far. Great work by McCracken to finish.
McCracken ended the round very strongly again there.
Well, a rather weary Paul Busby goes back to his corner, and it looks at this stage as if he's caught Robert McCracken on one of McCracken's very good nights. And there were signs in the middle of that round that Paul Busby may not go too far. Wonderful over-the-top right hand, and Busby forced, understandably, to hold on and try to keep out of trouble. That's the old classic, the left coming through and then the right over the top to follow. Lovely combination from Robert McCracken, the champion. Well, they must be very anxious now, because even after 6 rounds of championship boxing, Paul Busby's face is showing signs of very definite wear and tear. And Robert McCracken looking calm and composed. There were 1 or 2 question marks about Robert McCracken's dedication, but this looks like the fighter that we knew when he was a very good light middleweight of a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's no secret that Robert now and again struggles to get motivated in the gym, but when he does train hard, he's one hell of a fighter, it's got to be said. Very strong, he's very big for the weight, and he's a good boxer, and he can also hit very hard, so he'll give anyone trouble.
Good shot by Busby. McCracken tried to push the challenger around onto his right hand.
I'd like to see Busby keeping them hands up a little bit higher. He's getting caught out with jabs. He's got to try and slip that jab and try and work away inside and get over the top. It's easier said though, sitting here.
McCracken with that perfect record, 25 contests, 25 wins. Busby has lost twice to Wayne Ellis, once to Neville Brown in a British title eliminator some years ago, and rather unfortunately at the end of last year to Scotland's Willie Quinn for the inaugural WBO Continental Middleweight title. And it was an ankle injury which forced him to retire from that contest. Busby seems to have regained a little bit of his composure, but the face, if anything, is marking up even more.
He's boxing a little bit better this round, and he scored with a couple of right hands over the top, and that's the punch that if anything, he's going to catch Robert.
Little caution from Paul Thomas to watch the head. And again, McCracken trying to get the right hand over. A minute to go to the end of the third. McCracken looking unscathed at this stage and unruffled. Rather wild attack there by Paul Busby. And I'm not sure that the corner will be altogether happy with what's happening in and around his left eye.
I think Paul Busby's been caught with so many different punches that he's running out of ideas, I think, and he's getting caught on the way in when he's standing on the outside. But that was a good shot from him. Great jab from McCracken, that, and a right hand to follow, and that's another good right hand.
Well, I think Busby was thrown down. And he really does look under pressure, Busby, but he did take a left and a right, and at the end, McCracken actually threw him over. So they'll be very, very happy in this corner. It's Robert McCracken, managed by Mickey Duff. This is his first defence of his Commonwealth title, and that was another good round, or a good finish to the round by him. And they seem to be working very, very hard on that left eye of Paul Busby. Oh yes, you can see why. That was a lovely left and right. That's the combination that has given Busby so much trouble. Now that was a little bit illegal by McCracken. And Busby, I think, will be glad of the rest, but that eye is not looking altogether good. It's they'll have to work pretty hard to try to stop that swelling. And if anything, one more hard punch might just force the skin to break. 1/3 of the scheduled 12-rounder for the middleweight championship of the Commonwealth gone. And the man in the blue shorts from Birmingham, the champion Robert McCracken, has looked very impressive so far.
Good combination from Busby there. Come back well.
It's the first time he's actually thrown more than a single shot.
Yeah. Just caught Robert over the top. I think with all good jabbers, they have a tendency, I mean myself included, you have a tendency to drop that left hand now and again, and a right hand can creep over the top, definitely.
And McCracken settling back down to that nice pattern.
No shots.
The right hand over the top again, and McCracken did get caught with one as he came in, but he landed with a right himself, and still the left hand side of Paul Busby's face is not terribly pretty. That was a good slicing right, and Busby had to hold on.
I think McCracken is sensing that the end could be near,
Busby breathing very heavily indeed. He's been under pressure right from the first bell.
Another good right hand. It's a very impressive performance from Rob McCracken tonight. He's looking very hungry.
A minute to go to the end of the fifth. Busby doing well to backpedal. Yeah, McCracken shortened the left and allowed his man to work onto it.
There's that 1-2 again from McCracken. Good shots. That's been the most effective combination tonight. Straight 1-2.
Well, that's tried and tested. And it's certainly working for McCracken here tonight in Bethnal Green. Paul Thomas, the referee from Derby, telling Paul Busby that he's been far too careless with his hand. With his head, right again.
This is good work from McCracken. He's not rushing in, he's measuring them shots. Good right hands. Look, he's trying to get his room. That's good boxing.
And Busby really is very weary. 5 rounds gone, and I don't think he's even got one of them. Once again, a fair amount of work going on, and the main cause for concern, the left-hand side of Paul Busby's face. And right from the first bell, he's been taking some very hard shots, especially good right hands from McCracken. And there was another example of that in that round. Busby managed to move away from the second one. Well, he looks fairly calm and collected. And as they come out for the 6th round, the referee, Paul Thomas, had a little word with Paul Busby, I think probably about the use of his head. McCracken back to the crisp jab.
Both Busby's eyes now are looking very swollen.
It was a good jab from Busby.
Yeah, very good jab indeed.
And again.
They're both pulling each other there with jabs.
Sense that McCracken realised that Busby maybe doesn't have a terribly hard punch, and he's happy enough to take 1 or 2 to get a couple in himself.
I think he feels that confident. Look at that right hand again.
Nasty clash of heads there. And McCracken has a look to see if he's cut. Might just be worth looking at, because there was a little banging there. And McCracken just wiped a glove across his left eye, but there doesn't seem to be any problem. In fact, there is. I think McCracken is cut. And Busby himself looks to be cut around the right eye, so that little bang, I think, has just opened up a nick on the face of Robert McCracken. Yeah, there's a little something there, whether it's from some blood from Busby, but
I think it might be a graze just above the eye. I don't think it's nothing too serious.
Well, Mickey Duff getting very agitated, as ever, in the corner, urging McCracken to come forward. And that seems to have encouraged Busby. There's a lot of redness, whether it's from Busby's gloves or not. It's very difficult to tell at this stage around the left-hand side of Robert McCracken's face. I do think there is a little cut on the eyebrow itself. Good right hand from McCracken. Minute to go to the end of the 6th round. Will take us to the halfway point.
Again, good boxing from Robert, keeping the distance, keeping his mat. Well, that's good 1-2 shot. He's growing in confidence all the time.
Busby now grimacing with the sheer effort of trying to keep this man away from him.
Yeah, the head, you see, with the head coming down like that, he only has to come up and clash of heads, and and then that's when the cuts can appear. I think the referee was fair to tell him off there.
And this time, it's McCracken's head is the offending weapon. Well, a good round of boxing. And I think the first thing they'll do with McCracken is have a look at that left eye of his. I don't think it's anything to worry about. It's a tiny little nick, and already they've just gone to work on it just to make sure it doesn't open up anymore. But that was definitely caused by the clash of heads in the early part of that round. So the McCracken corner go to work. And Busby came in. Oh, no, I wouldn't be altogether sure whether that was deliberate or not, and I suppose we've got to give Paul Busby the benefit of the doubt. He did follow through, and there certainly was quite a thump, and no wonder McCracken reacted. Well, here's a man, Paul Busby, who's taken a thump or two during this Commonwealth title fight, and they've been very, very busy right from the first interval. Robert McCracken comes out of his corner, the defending Commonwealth middleweight champion, with an awful lot of grease around the left-hand side of his face, and referee Paul Thomas may decide to wipe some of that off, but at this stage he's letting it go, because no doubt the gloves of Paul Busby will do that.
Both jabbing well there. Busby caught McCracken with a good jab, and then Robert returned the compliment. This is a good performance from McCracken, but you have to give Paul Busby credit, because he took some hard right hands, and he's still in there, showing his fitness. And that's again good left hook.
Well, the difference is that Busby really feels the effects of McCracken's punching, and McCracken simply shrugs off anything that Busby has thrown at him and comes back again.
I think Robert feels he's the stronger man, and he's prepared to take one just to get his harder shots home. I've seen a few of Paul Busby's bouts, and I never really thought him as a big puncher, but as I say, he's always had tremendous fitness and always had a good work rate, and he's always been a good 10 or 12 round fighter.
They've got a couple of common opponents, most notably Paul Wesley, who Busby outpointed, as indeed did McCracken, but he made heavy weather of it.
McCracken just caught Busby with a good jab there. It was more like a straight left, just staggered him a little bit.
Just under a minute to go to the end of this round.
Yeah, McCracken's, he's in his right to it there. The referee hasn't said stop or break.
I think sheer tiredness forcing Paul Busby down to his knees.
I think Jimmy caught him with a good body shot there as well, and he's still not recovered. It was a good body shot early on.
Half a minute to go, and the crowd may be sensing that this is McCracken's run, and still McCracken's title. Busby almost standing on top of us here at ringside.
Again, that was a good one too from Robert McCracken.
Busby will do well to survive this one. 10 seconds to go, and he has to hold on, and the referee is going to have a word with him. McCracken sees the end, but the bell is going to save Busby. Great finish to that round by Robert McCracken. And the Busby corner, I'm sure, will be pretty anxious about the welfare of their men. No wonder he's throwing the head back, because this has been a very, very difficult contest for him.
I think they're calling the ref over here, and it could be all over. I think it is.
I think you're absolutely right.
That's a good decision by his corner. He wasn't winning the fight, and I think they're looking after his man, and that's got to be that's a good decision by his trainer.
Robert McCracken has got back to his very best form, a very game opponent who gave him a little bit of trouble, but not that much. And McCracken looked very, very impressive indeed, right from the first bell. And both lefts and rights, and in this particular round, although Busby was doing his very best, McCracken looked composed, and that was a terrific short left jab, and that rocked back the head of Busby. And right at the end of the round, Busby on the retreat all the time, and McCracken forcing him into the challenger's corner. And it came as no great surprise when the referee went over and said, well, Paul Busby, you've been very gallant, but Robert McCracken is still the champion.
And McCracken continues to climb up the rankings. More boxing later. A preview of Saturday's boat race follows short. Promised more boxing from your call now, and we can check on the emerging potential of lightweight Colin Dunn, who could be moving towards a challenge for the British title. From North Hollywood in California, his opponent, hoping to play a leading role, was Kino Rodriguez. We join the action at the start of round 2.
This lightweight contest is scheduled for 8 3-minute rounds at 9 stone 9. Colin Dunn exactly 9 stone 9. Rodriguez some 5.5 pounds lighter. And Rodriguez really is used to fighting men in a much lighter division than this. He's been in with Johnny Bradal, who's a super flyweight champion, and Orlando Canizales, who is a bantamweight champion.
I think in this contest as well, that will definitely have an effect on the fight, the weight difference, 5.5 pounds. That's a lot of weight really, and Colin Dunn is a big puncher, and I think that will definitely have an effect on the fight.
Colin Dunn having to cover up some good body shots going in from Kino Rodriguez. His real Christian name is Tranquilino. I'm not sure how good my Spanish is, but I think that means peaceful. I don't think he's in for a particularly peaceful night here in the York Hall and Bethnal Green.
Well, the way he's working, Jim, he doesn't look like a peaceful man either himself. To be honest, he put some good combinations together. He started this round really well.
And he's making Colin Dunn work. And Dunn, as he showed against Jonathan Thaxton, doesn't like to step backward. And having gone through some pretty decent domestic opposition, I think it's a good idea for someone like Colin Dunn to start looking at more experienced men from overseas.
Oh, definitely. That was a good shot from Colin Dunn then. But you can see this fella, he hasn't come to lie down, he's come to fight. And he's putting up a great performance, but Colin Dunn there, again, caught him with a couple of good shots.
Right hand in particular going in from Dunn, and he does get a lot of power behind them. And again, back comes Rodriguez. A minute to go to the end of the second. Rodriguez now breathing fairly heavily. Dunn has kept up a remarkable pace, as he always does, living up to his nickname, the Dynamo. Michael Ayres due to challenge for the European title soon and may well give up the British crown, in which case Colin Dunn will be the #1 man to step in for that. Oh, great right hand. And I don't think Kino Rodriguez is going to get up from this. And indeed, the referee, Richie Davison, says no, it's all over. With just a few seconds remaining to the end of the second round, and Colin Dunn has made it 17 wins in a row and 14 inside the distance. And that was a very, very good right hand, and one hopes that Kino Rodriguez, who took a flush on the jaw, is going to be okay.
Well, that was an impressive stoppage, to be honest. That was a great right hand. He did catch him downstairs as well earlier on, and I hope he's going to be okay still on the floor. I think he's going to get up.
Good left hand to the middle, and then as Rodriguez wobbled, that right hand came over, and that really was good. Plenty of shoulder behind it, and good decision by the referee. There again, it was the body shot that opened him up a little bit, and down he went. Great finish by Dunn.